What's up everyone, I'm Exotic Sponge and I'm going to be speedrunning Spongebob Truth or Square for the PSP. And I'm joined with...
Hello, I am Orion YTP. I'm also a speedrunner of this amazing game.
It's a fantastic game. So with further ado, we can get started. So the timer is going to start when I press the begin button here. In 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. So SpongeBob Truth or Square was a game released during the SpongeBob 10-year anniversary back in 2009, and this game is to relive one of his happiest moments, to remember where he lost a prize for the formula. So that's pretty much the plot of this game.
Wanna catch a couple plankton?
And originally this game was released on like Xbox 360 and the Wii, but there was a port on the PSP, and it has a significant more scuff than the other ports.
And you see what we mean about that. So first off, we have only one weapon here, which is the spatula slap, and for that you can destroy enemies, damage them. So the damaging enemies in this game is kind of different or weird. If you just go right up to them and slap them, you have to hit them 2 times. But if you're far enough or jump while you slap them, you will actually just get 1 hit, which I'm going to be trying to do right here.
Jellyfish Fields is the first level, and it's pretty standard because we don't have that many powers to work with yet. Yeah. It's just pretty much just go through the level and hit enemies. We do got some skips though.
Oh yeah, those will be coming up soon. Some major skips, like something you probably will not expect. With the first key, we unlock the first puzzle, which is the jellyfish. Will get us a little boost up to a higher ledge.
Gotta watch their little jaunt.
Yeah, we don't allow you to skip cutscene in early game, so that's kind of unfortunate. So here we're going to be doing our first skip. And if you time SpongeBob jumps just right and you don't scrape against the wall, you can actually perform a higher double jump. Oops. Just like that. And once again, you're going to do the snail jump here. And I call it snail jump because even though there's no snails in this version, on the 360 version, there actually is a snail which we use to jump over the gap. On PSP, we just use the cage instead, and that brings us well over the invisible wall.
And that last jump he did is a little bit harder than it looks because you have to jump over a tiny invisible wall.
Yeah. So here we are on the nervous commenter section here. Oh yeah, ignore these brown snails with the exclamation points. Those are for 100%, and we're not going to be getting those. So here's simple platforming. We're going with the platforms. Now here, you don't hear Patrick screaming, of course.
Oh yeah,
because,
there's just a lot of detail in the original ports that this one doesn't really show.
Yeah, it's probably because it's very simple and all that. So here we're going to be doing a, because the slides are so slow in this version, we're going to be skipping all of that by doing a simple out of bounds trick. Right here.
All the out of bounds in this game aren't that complicated, it's literally just they don't think to wall off these sections.
Yeah. It's like the wall doesn't even exist.
Nice little jump under the ceiling.
And the important thing to know about this game, if you change the camera, you have to stop SpongeBob while you change the camera. So I'm only going to be changing the camera when absolutely necessary, to make like difficult jumps like that, or to play safe at some point. And by the way, that simple jump from the bottom there saves like 20-30 seconds, skips the whole puzzle.
Yeah, this is, I think, the longest level in the run, and we still skip out a ton of puzzles. Now, an interesting thing coming up to this next skip is normally we want to avoid hugging the walls, but this is the one exception where hugging the wall actually boosts our jump height. This game has weird jump physics.
And also, you saw me click on the power up there, which is the buff power up, and this pretty much allows Spongebob to gain super strength, allow you to destroy enemies in 1 hit. And it's also much, not very much faster, but you can actually spin when you lock that power up, which make us clear gaps a lot faster.
We do have a skip for this slide, but it's kind of tricky, and if you fall, you have to redo the entire level.
And that's because of the absence of a death barrier. There's no death barriers in this game, so if you fall off, you're pretty much locked up until you set the level.
Yeah, as one of the chatters said, walls are definitely optional when it comes to Truth or Square on the PlayStation Portable.
That's the only suggestion here. So here we have a little setup here. We had to destroy 25 robots. Unfortunately, got the worst RNG imaginable.
Oh, yeah, wow, they are really far away.
Yeah, but normally they would just spawn here, and you could just turn around with Patrick and just hit them, but just like that instantly. And you can see how fast this is, and walking around the whole arena. I'm to 25, and there you go. We got our first happiness object, the jellyfishing net.
As Patrick.
Yep, as Patrick.
And once you collect the object, you can just leave the level.
Yeah.
And the next level will still unlock.
Little time saver there. Having to watch those cutscenes, skips having to do that.
Now we're in the kelp forest, and we get a new move, the spin, which is gonna help us unlock some more tech.
And this first tech is coming up right now. As soon as we watch Sandy riding this clam. So you could be doing something called a spin hop or spin boost, and if you spin at the right moment on these spin boosts, you get a recoil which allows you to gain additional height. It's pretty tight to do, but it allows you to just kind of edge that platform to get up there. And you probably may have noticed the platforms are actually very lenient, so even if you're like against the wall, you can actually go up a little bit to actually make a jump, which I just did there.
A lot of the tech in this game is based around just getting a second double jump out of nothing. So hitting an invincible enemy with a spin is one way to do that. We'll see. We'll have a few more methods coming up.
Yep. Oh, good. That's the harder one because you have to be on that base platform, that table section.
Very nice.
Ah, okay.
And as you can see, the spin does slow you down a little bit, so you want to try not to use it too much, unless you're buff.
Yeah, when you're buff, you can spend whatever you want. In fact, we're going to be using that to do the next coming up skip, which is what I call Couple Hour Bounce. So that's also a very tight jump there. You can see Spongebob like edging that wall there.
Camera moment.
Yep. Uh-oh. Boom.
You can hit that little spinner from inside the wall, and then it should allow you to bypass the wall.
So yeah, so they can see this trick, it may look easy, but it's actually in reality hard, because if you fall down, fall to the right and fall down, you'll fall forever, because like I said, there's no invisible death barriers. And if
or what can also happen is if you go too far to the left, you'll clip back in the wall and then just lose all the time. And the trick he just did there was getting another magical double jump. When the moment you collect the power, it gives you your double jump back. So that's just another way, like spin hopping.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cheeky ways to get extra height. Or you can say hello to Sandy, getting I guess standing inside the clam, acting like nothing's happening. Even though you hear a struggle in the background, but there's no struggle in reality. So yeah, that's Toss PSP for you.
Shoutouts to the mega compressed voice lines and music.
So here we have this plant minefield. If you go close to these plants, they'll eat you and swallow you. And the hitboxes are not lenient at all for these, so just stay far away from them.
Now for this little section, if you spin the goo, you'll get a... It's like it didn't quite time it. There we go. If you spin the goo, you'll get a little bit of a height boost and get your double jump back too. This game gives double jumps out like candy.
Yep. So here we're on the little boss fight, the submarine thingy, and pretty much we're gonna be exposing his weak spot, and by baiting him.
The only game where you fight a Beatles reference.
Yep. In his weak spot, of course, in the back of him.
And that's just inappropriate.
Just wait till I get to Robopat. Okay, got bad RNG. He went towards the wall. I want him to go towards the platform there because that's where the happiest object will spawn. And there he is, the team-up.
And now Kelp is done.
Kelp is completed, but this is when the game gets a wild turn with this new unlock power-up.
The cannon shot. And you want to take a wild guess what the cannon allows you to do? It gives you your jump back.
Yes, so instead of doing the double jump, you can pretty much fly through the air. With 12 shots though, because once you run out of your 12 shots, you cannot fly or jump anymore, so you have to be kind of conservative of how you use your cannon shots. But yeah, it pretty much allows you to fly like that. And because downtown is, since the end of the level is right next to the beginning of the level, it allows you to pretty much go over that huge visible wall and gap, and end up at the end of the level just like that.
Now that we have the cannon, basically each level is just going to consist of trying to find every way to use the cannon to get to the end of the level as quickly as possible.
Pretty much. And also another fun fact, this is a PSP and DS exclusive level, so this is not present in the Wii or 360 level. But unfortunately, you get to skip all of it here because the cannon shots. But it's always cool to having extra content, I think. It makes PSP a lot more attractive.
One thing to keep in mind with the cannon shot is that he has to single jump every time he wants to get his jump back. If he double jumps at any point, then he won't get it back the next time he shoots a cannon.
Yeah, he pretty much cancels it. Alright, up next is Robopat. Being tough with Patrick. You can see how tough he is right now. He can hold that huge hammer inside his mouth.
Gulp.
Yep.
Anyone who's played either Battle for Bikini Bottom or the SpongeBob movie game will probably recognize these songs. This game uses a lot of reused music.
Yeah. Most of them originally from Battle for Bikini Bottom and movie.
More hitting of the buttocks.
Yes. And that's his weak spot, no joke. And also we need to use Buff to unbuckle his belt and to slap him, so... After we deal damage to Patrick, he gives us these robots to fight, and there's a particular order where I want to hit them, just to you know, save time. And I didn't have to use any cannon shots because all the robots pretty much spawn together. So. But naturally, you will use the cannon shots to destroy robots that are far away from you than having to walk all the way towards them. It saves quite a bit of time.
It's also a double-edged sword because sometimes the spinner bots can reflect the cannons back to you.
Yeah, and they can damage Spongebob, so you do have to be very active to that.
Spin move.
Yep. And then a buckle and slap. And then he's next to the candy, which is going to be in this case a jelly. With the jelly, you're pretty much defenseless, so I don't want to stay away from the from that candy. If I can. Of course, sometimes the robots love to wander onto it. And this is... actually, no, he might be on the border this time. Okay, good, he was just on the border, so able to just hit him there. And for the big bots, I need 4 hits to kill them, so... Luckily, he cooperated. So with this final hit, I'm going to try to lure Patrick, near the police station / Splatoon place. And that's because I want to get to the happiest object, which spawns right around the where the white lines are. And there we go. And then the chest will spawn right near where I took him out. And the happy object spawns right around here. Patrick's green hot dog thingy. I still don't even know where it's from, but whatever. So up next we have Fry Cook.
I'll explain this so that way Exotic Sponge can focus up. So we're gonna have to do a little spin onto the goo to get some extra height. Then with well-timed cannon shots, should get over the invis wall here.
Got it.
Very nice.
Yeah,
that is very difficult.
Yeah, that invisible wall is super high, so you need every single shot you can muster. It doesn't end there. You have to do all of this damageless, because you can see my health counter on the top left. I have no health left, so I had to try not to get hit anywhere here. And of course, this part lags quite a bit, drops a lot of inputs, which is why I destroyed those 3 robots there to avoid some of the input lag. Got it. And I'm jumping way early here to avoid, just to back it up, just in case I miss a jump. And these are the strongest enemies in the game, all those flying things. You see them more downtown, but believe it or not, nowhere else those enemies are found.
Are they even in the 360 version?
No, they're not. They're only in this version and only in downtown and this level. That's pretty much it. At least what I can recall.
Alright, and that is probably the hardest level in the run.
Yep,
taken care of.
Yeah, that was actually really good, except for that ending, that was really good. And of course, we get a golden spatula, a battle reference.
Is that a BFBB reference?
Don't get the good games confused though.
Oh my god, go Santa!
I have no idea how they screwed that up, but that's supposed to be Santa as Squidward, but he's a ghost, so no words to explain that. But anyway, same logic in downtown. Since the end of the level is close to the beginning, you just make a straight line and go directly towards it by jumping all over these invisible walls.
Our daily dose of cannon jumping.
Yep. And of course, we jump into the void, but if you give it a few seconds, the world is back.
Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of a speedrun, the RNG!
Yeah, so every time, so it's pretty much random every time he's going to try to attack you, and his weak spot is when he stops attacking you. So that's 3, 4, attack. I need 5 attacks, I think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh. No,
yeah.
No.
Sometimes you just get 12 shots, but sometimes
or he'll
you get
just
like
not
20.
slam at all.
Yeah. 13, 14, 15. Oh, 15. Not bad, actually.
Yeah, I was getting a little worried.
Yeah. My best
you
is...
can get like easily in the over 20 slams sometimes.
Yeah, but other times you can just get like 8 slams. So it's truly a hot dropping moment when you enter that boss fight, because you can easily kill your PB just by facing him. So up next is Mumblelayer. And this is probably the shortest level in the game. Easily. And you jump over this tall invisible wall onto the ledges if I don't fall down. Okay, I fell down.
Oh. Woof.
Yeah. Because when you die, you don't get back your cannon shots. You do have to exit the level. But luckily this is a doesn't cost too much time.
Yeah, after the cannon shots, he has to land on a pretty tiny little wall.
Yeah, and don't let that extended platform fool you, because that's all the illusion that's really exists. Let's try to land this correctly. There we go.
Nice.
Got the telephone in like 40 seconds. Not in this case, but normally that will take like 40 seconds, so if that.
Doink, 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 doink. Yeah, whenever you're like going into a boss, sometimes you can like accidentally trigger the thing multiple times and you just go doink, 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 doink.
It makes no sense why it happens, but it's just a thing that happens. So I remember not to like spam A. And look at Squidward's Krill net. Look at which texts they use. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just literally the boss texture.
I thought it was SpongeBob's underwear. Oh, sorry, SpongeBob's pants. But it might be
this
his
boss
shirt.
is just all about timing the triple hits, because you can't just spam A.
Yeah, got to delay a little bit and then shoot again. With the gum. And yes, this is gum, literally. See the pizza in it? So we have 3 hits here. And of course we had another phase, but for some reason this central platform here doesn't actually move. Well, it moves a little bit, but it doesn't actually move, so we just go back onto it. And we pretty much skip a whole cycle in the weirdest way possible. And yeah, that's Robo Squid. Doesn't get much better than that. And of course this is a reference from Squidward's first bite at the Krabby Patty, so that's why there's so many Krabby Patties around. Now go be careful not to fall into that little gap there, and grab the Krabby Patty. Alright, 21 minutes and counting. We're only in 24 hours. In 21 minutes.
Very nice.
Yeah, so this has some scuffed, well, you see what we'll be doing.
So 24 hours at the Krusty Krab has some interesting routing, because we don't really want to like use our cannon jumps right now. We want to save them up for a big skip at the very end.
Yeah, so this first part is just getting to a later part of the level. We skipped like half the level maybe from that. We skipped the monster's mouth and all that cave part and gum part. And that battle just before this bone part. Now this is tough platforming right here. You have to kind of yeah, kind of know your jumps here, because the perspectives of these lasers is kind of hard to avoid. And of course, if you get hit by them, it could knock you off the arena, which means you have to do the level over again. So that's why I'm being kind of safe here. And shout out to this drill, the most annoying enemy on 360, but in this version, it doesn't really bother you too much. Although you do have to dodge them a little bit, but not in this case apparently. So you can see there's a tub locked inside the cage, but because of this, because of the lenient platforms, you can pretty much just double jump onto this higher platform there. No need to inflate a single sponge.
Right, we have to skip baths because we're speedrunners.
Yes. No need to inflate.
Oh yeah, I don't think we even touched on it. The bath is supposed to like allow SpongeBob to absorb water and solve puzzles.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this is what we were saving all these cannon jumps for, is we need to get up and above the final platform here, because unlike most of the happiness objects, this one is just stored at the top of the level here.
And it's kind of weird though, because on console you can actually get 2 more of these, but on PSP you can only get like two of them out of bounds. So I guess
maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe one day. But in both cases though, the happiness object, the outbounds one, is actually stored way above the actual happiness object. So interesting. By the way, look at Plankton's eye. That's when you really notice it. It's like
and Sandy's eyes also don't look too great either.
Oh yeah. So Sandy just unlocked the gate for us and revealed some robots, but we're not gonna be taking care of those guys because
what a nice level, Karate Island. Surely there will not be a skip that just breezes through the entire level. Oh, look at that! A skip that breezes through the entire level.
Yep, the biggest trick. I would say that was the biggest skip in Toss, saving like 7 minutes. And as an interesting fact, there's actually a way to do it without even cannon popping as well, to show how polished this game is. So we have this annoying boss fight here. It's much less annoying on this version. We have to kind of 3-cycle this boss and try not to get hit by his cannons.
Fun fact, this boss actually generates so many objects that if you try to pause the game will just be like missing visuals and buttons.
Yeah, because all the items have to load and resources. And there you go. Bye-bye, Squally Island. One of the like most broken stages in the entire game, I would say. Because like in main stages here, it's the beginning of the game's next to the start, and that's a visual sample of that. We're on to the Krusty Krab, the Battle Royale level. Explain this trick.
Yeah, this is a pretty weird ceiling clip that you'll just clip through the ceiling if you time your double jump correctly. It's very weird. So
here we're on top of the Krusty Krab. This is actually out of bounds here, but we're going to be going to somewhere else. We're going to be escaping this Krusty Krab and going to another Krusty Krab. You see what I mean?
Why would you put a second Krusty Krab right next to the first one?
No idea.
Money.
More money. I was about to say. And there we go. And also because we skipped the that Krusty Krab, the normal way of escaping it, we get to like skip this boss fight and go directly to the unloaded door.
And something that's nice, that's really needs to be appreciated about this level is that Exotic Sponge did that entire skip with only 11 cannon shots. Did I say Kevin shots?
Kevin shots. It's yeah. Kevin.
Because we need to save one more cannonball for this Krusty Krab.
Yeah, the ice one where you fight the center boss. And that allows you to skip having to do the RNG boss again. Or yeah, well, first time, but you don't have to do it, which is really important because that boss would have been crazy to do twice in a one run.
Why would you put a third Krusty Krab right next to the second?
For even more money. And for fame. So normally, actually this is all gonna be casual from here, but I want the robot to be close together so we can actually double hit them instead of single hit. Just like that, nice. Except it was kind of, actually no, that's pretty good actually. And of course these buff bots takes like 4 hits to destroy, so. It's a little bit RNG. You can save like a good 8 seconds if you get like the best RNG. Which I only gone like very few times. So after this boss again, the Squally Island boss fight. Which is not much harder because of this ledge right here. You can just let go of the controller, just stay there forever. And he will not be able to hit you. So yeah, there's a way to even break this boss. The harder version of it. And the reason why this is a little harder is because there's more enemies around, I guess. Like you see in the background there to the right. And boom! That is Krusty Krab defeated. The Battle Royale / multiple mini bosses level, whatever this is called.
Now, unlike the other levels, the happiness object we can't leave right away. For some reason, this one level, we have to like wait for a specific moment in the cutscene for it to actually count as collected right here.
Yeah, when you see the little sponge.
I have seen many a run, including myself, accidentally go on autopilot and skip the cutscene immediately and just lose 5 minutes.
Yeah, because if you quit out the level like that, you pretty much do all over again. Which is no good. So this is pretty much... Go ahead.
Now we're out of Krusty Krab. We're basically in the home stretch. Just a simple combat section.
Ouch.
Pretty simple final boss.
I messed up the routing here. So yeah. It's pretty much an all-scroll boss, unfortunately. So we just gotta have to be chasing this giant plankton bot all the way through the downtown. And you can see how hard this boss, powerful this boss actually is. But while I wait here, so pretty much Plankton did all this to find the Crypise Wicked Formula from Spongebob so he can take it for himself. Now I think this trick explains why Plankton is a pretty not such a smart evil genius after all, and you're about to find out why in a second here. Alright, once we're inside the bot, we just go up here, and
Oh, hey, look
look
it's
at
the
that.
formula.
It's the Cry-Fi formula floating in mid-air. You would think that'd be in a vault or something like that, but nope. It's just floating mid-air, so that's why Plankton never actually gotten that formula before. Or at least not held onto it.
And that concludes SpongeBob's Truth or Square on the PlayStation Portable.
Yes, a great game indeed.
SpongeBob!
SpongeBob! We have this little outro here with Krabs talking to SpongeBob, still figure out what the formula is, even though we just got it.
Very solid run, sub 30.
And there was no bathroom in there.
What are you talking about?
Yep, sub 30. Yeah, 29-25 is pretty solid. My PB is a 27-45.
Lost the secret formula.
You see Mr. Krabs panicking over the formula.
It's a mutiny.
So yeah, this is Truth or Square for the PlayStation Portable. I don't know if there's any other words to add.
I did put it in.
I think this game just speaks for itself.
Yes, of course, when we mentioned there's other versions of it, the 360 and Wii version are the most popular version of this game, and it's a lot more polished, but still as broken, I would say. Well, almost. With some other tricks over there as well, so definitely check those out if you like this one a lot,
In my back pocket the whole
because I know we do. And it actually is pretty challenging because those cannon shots.
I guess I never gave you the formula.
Gotta be good at
after all.
timing. Kind of like Yoshi and the Flood is in Galaxy 2.
It was in my
And there's a Cry-Fi formula in Mr. Krabs' pocket.
your back pocket.
10 years of frustration. 10 long years.
Exotic Sponge said his PB was a 2750 something.
40 something.
2746, excuse me.
46, yeah.
Well, I'll try.
And all that, and of course, Santa Boss has a lot to do with that PB. Well, not getting a better time, but yep. That's Spongebob Truth or Square for the PSP. There's the end credits. So I want to thank you all, thank everyone for watching. Any last words, Orion, before we head off?
I don't have anything more to say. Great, nice, solid run to showcase the game. I think we'll be signing off so that way we don't have to sit through the 11-minute unskippable credits.
Yep. And if you want to check out this game, you can join the Discord, Spongebob Truth or Square Discord, and do all of that stuff. But yeah, this is Exotic Sponge, and I believe up next is Cartoon Resorts, which is a great game I played a long time ago, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for having me showcase this game to everyone. Thanks for watching.